Nicholas Carr believes that the internet is reducing our ability to look deeply at information, and that it is turning us into what so often gets referred to as a 30-second soundbite culture. Though as you look at your Facebook feed and see people sharing articles they clearly have not read, and memes upon memes professing their approval or disapproval of whatever the topic du jour is, it's hard to disagree with everything he says. That being said, I find that his focus on information becoming more shallow is a little bit of an oversimplification. The internet is tremendous and full of information. Surely some of this has been able to get through to people. Surely some people actually read deep and find more information than just the infamous 30-second soundbite. I'm going to argue that there is such a thing as depth in the information available to the internet, but that this depth can often be just as destructive as the extremely shallow knowledge that so often gets denigrated. To maintain consistency with Carr's usage of the term shallow, I'm going to borrow a term from physics. I believe that knowledge has a volume associated with it. Information can be classified across two different dimensions: area, the range of topics a person has any knowledge at all about, and depth, single individual topics where a person has a lot of knowledge. Taken together, these two dimensions describe the total amount of knowledge a person has gained from using the internet, their volume of information, if you will. As Carr pointed out when he asked the question, "Is the internet making us stupid?" the world we live in now seems to be one where area is king. People are assaulted every single day by article upon article, list upon list, of information they've never heard about, new, novel things. Thousands of sites on the internet cater to providing trivia to hungry, curious minds. This is, in many ways, just a continuation of the direction information sharing in the world has taken. The average newspaper during the golden age of press was said to contain more information than a medieval serf would encounter in his entire life, so it is said. But the speed and ubiquity of the internet have exacerbated the problems associated with this model of information sharing. With the speed of updates on the internet, people tend not to look for more additional information about new topics. Really, they tend to read up until the topic gets boring, whether that be the entire article or just the headline. And then they move on immediately to a different topic. After all, there's millions waiting for them. This means that while people have information on a lot of different things, the information is never really substantive. Additionally, this environment is a perfect breeding ground for misinformation, and it doesn't even have to be malevolent. When people are casually browsing and failing to engage in deep reading, believable falsehoods can latch onto a person and spread like wildfire before someone even realizes that the information is false. And since there's so much information out there on the internet, the chances that they will ever see corrections made to it are slim to none. Depth, by comparison, is present, very present in fact, but a little less evident in internet culture. Depth exists where people obsess, where the information available on the internet manages to engross people utterly. Where nerds fight over minutia, depth is there, where people comb through archives, watch hours of videos, and consume so very much information. Depth is there too. In many ways, the internet has made depth easier than ever. Mass archival has a tendency to do that. The snare of the depth on the internet, however, is tunnel vision. The internet allows people who want depth to drink from the fire hydrant. It allows them to fill hours upon freaking hours with whatever their area of deep interest is. That time spent creates deep information, but it also inflates the importance of the topic to the person. And that can be a problem when the topic is not all that important, or just wrong in the first place. To put things in the most pejorative sense possible, depth turns people into nerds. By filling their time with information that they care about in a very big way, and allowing them to associate with people in a similar mindset, the internet allows depth to truly consume a person. The most toxic manifestation of depth-induced tunnel vision on the internet is probably the conspiracy theorist, a person who uses the archival and depth of information on the internet to build increasingly complex justifications for truly insane things that have a base that simply does not exist. The internet encourages two different, polar modes of thought, and neither of them are entirely good or bad. So what do we do with this? In my oh so important opinion, we need to work as people to be critical about how the medium of the internet affects our consumption of information. We need to be attentive to both area and depth, and how the internet pulls us towards polarized responses. Perhaps, rather than fetishize depth, we need to encourage well-roundedness. We ought to focus on building both natural curiosity to use the internet to explore a broad range of topics, and also use it to dig deeper into the information available to us, whilst at the same time making sure that we have the discipline to not get swept along by the endless stream of information.